Hello, everyone. Good evening. Hope everyone's doing well. And if you're watching tonight, please say hello. Hey, Mary Kay. Hello, hello. Glad you're here tonight. All right, let's see who else. Oh, hi, Gail. Welcome. We're going to finish up our Valentine cards tonight. Hi, Tina. How is everyone tonight? Hi, Margaret. Hi, Arlene. So nice to see all of you here tonight. Hi, Sonia. Thanks for sharing. Hello, Anita. Hi, Diane. Hello, Sue. We're going to finish up the Sweet Talk Suite, and you might want to grab your printable. Let me get my printable out. You can actually find this over on my blog. This is the printable. If you want to take some notes tonight and some measurements, we're going to be working in the mini catalog and in Celebration. So, all right. Yes, you're right on time, Diane. Hello, Doris. How are you? So glad to have all of you here tonight. Now, if you are brand new watching tonight, please say hello. Let us know where you're from. You can tell us if you're a beginner stamper or you're a demonstrator or you've been stamping forever. Hi, Jeanne. Oh, yay, I'm so glad, Arlene. Well, that took some time, didn't it, Arlene, to get that rainbow card to you. Hello, Brenda. Hi, Kisha. Welcome, everyone. I hope you've had a great Wednesday. All right. Well, we're going to get started. And of course, all of you know, I start with any promotions or details. And so I'll do that first, and then we're going to jump right in, and I'm going to show you the Valentine cards. So tonight, hi, Diane from Washington State. Good to have you. Hi, Carol. Tonight, we are going to make 2 cards and a treat holder, okay? And they're all using the Sweet Talk Suite and some Celebration, okay? Hi, Tracy. Hi, Carol. All right, so before we get started, and I think most of you all know this, but I'll go ahead and repeat it here. When you do place an order with me, you earn a B when you've placed an order of $35 or more. And when you have earned 10 Bs, then you can redeem that card for $35 in free product, okay? Now, the B reward email, I think it went out either yesterday or today. I think I may have sent it out today. No, it was yesterday. So anyway, for those of you who have a full card, I have emailed you. And if you want to redeem it, let me know by Thursday night at 5 p.m., which is tomorrow, okay? So that I can get that taken care of for you. Also, when you place a minimum $35 order in my online store, I send you a tutorial with 16 projects, all right, using current product. And by the way, if you're on my team, you automatically receive this tutorial free every month. All right, so just want to remind you of that. And then if you are shopping this week, this is our Hostess code. All right, so I will just let you look at that for a few minutes. It's M793E2SJ. All right. All right, I'm going to say hello to a few more friends, and then we're going to get started, okay? Hi, Rosemary. Hi, Carol. I have 2 Carols, and they're both Carol H. So I have Carol Helms and Carol Hodges. So welcome to you both. Hi, Sharon. Hello, Pam. Hi, Sherry. All right, so first of all, if you are brand new tonight, you'll definitely want to comment at some point so that your name can be in the drawing, because I have 3 prizes to give away tonight, all right? And it's the 3 projects that we're going to make. Hi, Diana. Hi, Lori. And for those of you who are new, my name is Tammy Shia. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And I've been a demonstrator for 13 and a half years, and still enjoying it, meeting new friends and creating projects. So it's lots of fun. And if you're interested in joining, let me know. I'd be happy to have you on my team. And welcome to Facebook Live in the Hive. So now we're going to get started, and I'm going to show you the projects. So the first project that we're going to create tonight is this 3D treat holder. All right, so I'm going to turn that all the way around so you can see that. Super fun, super easy to make. Sorry about the lights on that. Then our second card, we're going to learn how to use our paper scraps. And don't we all have paper scraps? I know I have plenty. And with this particular paper pack, I'm just about out. I only have scraps left. And so I'm going to talk to you about this sweet little stamp set that's available in Celebration. Thanks, Mary Kay. I'm glad you like it. Hey, Terry. Welcome. So yeah, we'll get to make this. I'm going to show you how to create this little Volkswagen bus. All right. Hi, Pam. Hi, Kelly. Good to have both of you tonight. All right, and our last card is right here. It's also using another Celebration set, all right? I'm so glad you like the treat holder. The treat holder is first, Joanne. We're gonna make that first, okay? So let's get started. Does anybody know where this little box comes from? Any guess? Let me know. I'm gonna get my tray over here. All right, I'm gonna straighten up my camera a little bit there. And for those of you who are just joining us for the first time tonight, we're using the Sweet Talk Suite. It's the very first suite in the mini, and it's called the Sweet Talk Suite, which I think I just said. Here's the Sweet Conversations bundle, and it has some darling dies right here to go with it. It's a photopolymer stamp. And so this is where you would place your stamps once you clean them and put them back. Hi, Jeannie from Woodstock. Hey, Laura. Now, these are the sweetheart dies right here, okay? And you may have joined me yesterday, which would have been Tuesday. That was yesterday at 2. And I had my Be Creative Tip Tuesday for the first time. It was live right here on this page. And we talked about how to create this. And we talked about how these stamped images line up and you can stamp on top of these hearts. So go back and watch that video if you haven't had a chance to do that, okay? So this is what we're working with. And I'll show you the paper real quick. Again, I'm like totally out of this paper, but here it is. It's called the Sweet Talk Designer Paper. And that's what it looks like. And I just love all the pieces in it. Jeanne, you are so right. It's the 3 1/8 inch by 3 1/8 inch acetate card box. Thank you, Ann Ethel. I'm so glad you like the cards tonight. Well, we're gonna start with a 3D treat holder. And we're starting with that acetate card box that's actually located in the annual catalog. Now you're going to notice something about my box. It's missing the flaps over here. So let me do this. You might be able to see it better, all right? So here's the box with this flap, and I took an old trimmer blade and I cut off the flaps on this side. So that's all you have to do, all right? Use an old blade and then keep that old blade. And then when you're cutting glitter paper or glimmer paper or acetate card boxes, use that old blade, okay? Yep, Jeanne got it right. She knows what she's talking about. This is the box. So the first thing we'll do is we're gonna go ahead and form this box. And all we do is we just fold on all of those scored lines, okay? All right. And then we gotta fold the flap, and then it's gonna go in, all right? And that's it, all right? And this is gonna be the top of the box because this is open, all right? So now I have a few measurements for you. and they're right here. I'll put them on top of this box here. You're going to need some designer paper that's 3 1/8 inch by 5 3/8 of an inch. All right, and I'll show you those markers in a minute. And then we're going to score, and I'm going to do that tonight and demonstrate how to do that, okay? And then we're going to add a border. This is the border we're going to add to the box, all right? And I'll share all those measurements with you as well, okay? So let's go ahead and we're going to bring in my trimmer, all right? And I'm going to measure this piece of paper. I was trying to decide which one to use tonight. Here is another box that I made using this piece of designer paper right here, okay? Jan, I love these little boxes, and I hope we never get rid of them. So here's the inside. This is what's inside the box, this paper. And when it flaps back over, when it becomes the flap, then you see this side, okay? So that's one option. And then the second option tonight is this one right here, which is what I'm going to use. But this time, I'm going to let this be the flap. What do you think? So we're going to do the opposite, okay? So that'll give you 3 different ideas. Okay, so I want to make sure that I have cut this paper correctly. We are at 3 1/8 of an inch, so let me zoom in. And that's 1/8 right there, all right? And then we're going to turn our cardstock, and you want to cut it at 5 3/8, and that's 5 3/8 right there. Let's make sure we have 5 3/8. We do. So we're actually good. All right, it's ready to go. And so now at this point, we are ready to score, okay? I know, I love this paper. It is awesome. Okay, we want to score at 3 1/8. And let's see. I want to just check this because what I want to do is I want to make sure that my hard paper is like this, and that it flaps over like this. Now, I have to watch this because this paper is directional, okay? All right, so let's see. That first score line is going to be 3 1/8. All right, and I want it to go that way, and so that means this should score right here. All right, so I'm going to score there. And then I'm going to score at 3 7/8. Okay, so here's 4 inches, okay? We're going right here to 3 7/8 of an inch. And we're going to score again. And hopefully I didn't score too hard. All right, so I've got my score lines. And now I'm going to fold those score lines like that. And it's ready to go inside the box. So if you are using directional paper, you do want to be aware of that, okay? All right. Now we are going to go ahead and we're going to add a border, all right? The border that I'm talking about is right here. Can anyone guess where this border's from? I've been using it all month. So let me know where that's from. Okay, now we're going to use a piece of paper to create the border. And it's going to need to be 3 1/8 of an inch by 1 1/4 inch, all right? So does anybody know? Yes, Margaret, yes, you got it. It's from the rainbow set. So this is Rainbow of Happiness, and here is the border for Rainbow of Happiness. I'll scoot on out a little bit. Okay, there it is. And so this is the actual border that I'm using tonight for the Valentine box, okay? Great, Diane, I'm glad you got it too. My students have been listening. All right. Can y'all tell that I used to teach school many moons ago? Okay, So I have already taken the time to cut the border because you've seen me do that all month. It is not a hard die to cut with, okay? And so we're gonna add this to this, okay? So let's get some Stampin' Seal. And then I'm gonna run the Stampin' Seal right along here, okay? And then I am going to add it right about here. And I think that will work really well. All right. And that's all you have to do. We're almost done. Can you believe it? All right, where did my box go? Box is right here. And by the way, if you decide to make lots of these, copy the measurements and put this in the package with the boxes. So the next time that you go to make one of these boxes, your instructions are right inside, okay? So do that and you'll always know where those instructions are, all right? I love all the comments. Okay, look at this. It just slides right in. And I'm gonna do something here. You see that little flap? It doesn't want to behave. So I'm gonna flatten that out again a little bit better. Okay, good. Now it's flat. Okay, that's all you do. You slide it in, all right? Now, let me show you the cookie that I'm using. These are actually really good, and it's everything I can do not to eat them, but they're a milk chocolate drenched Oreo cookie. And you can find these, hi Carolyn, I'm glad you found me tonight. You can find these cookies at TJ Maxx and you'll find them at the cash register. So when you go to check out, that's where they're gonna be, okay? Now they may also have them at Home Goods, I don't know, but you can count on them being at TJ Maxx. They do them for St. Patty's Day. They do them for Easter. So you get all those fun foil colors, okay? So we're gonna use one of these. Whoops, I've got the top on, so hang on. Gotta take the top off here. They really are good cookies. All right, so we could use that one, and then my other foil color is the hearts. So let's see what we like better. I think I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with a solid foil, all right? Now to adhere this to your paper, you wanna do that before you slide it in the box. So you can use glue dots. And actually, believe it or not, the last time I did this, I used dimensionals, all right? And I'm gonna do that again. I've got some scrap dimensionals here, and I'm just gonna add it to the back of the cookie. And that is going to hold the cookie in place so that you can see the cookie, and so the cookie is not flying around inside. It's not loose. And we'll put that about right in the center. And then you're ready to slide this in. So how many of you are gonna run out to TJ Maxx tomorrow? All right. I need my ribbon. Love this stuff. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna lay this down. And this is what's going to hold the flap down. The ribbon is, all right? And you can either tie a knot or you can tie a bow. I'm gonna do a bow. This is fairly easy ribbon to tie. I love the feel of it. It's a faux linen. Now, if you purchased my ribbon share, you're going to get 2.5 yards of this. Whoops, hang on. If you need to hold your ribbon in place, which actually it looks like I do tonight, take a glue dot. And I'm going to put the glue dot on the back about right there. And the reason I'm doing that is so it will hold my ribbon in place, all right, while I tie it. Okay, and you can take the glue dot off later if you want, or you can leave it on. All right, Oh, hi Sharon, welcome. The cello box is the 3 1/8 inch by 3 1/8 inch, and it's in the annual catalog, okay? All right. Okay, so it looks like I've never tied a bow before. I will confess though, this thumb right here, not only am I missing a nail, but I cut myself. And so it's very hard for me to put any kind of pressure on it at all. It's just really sore. Okay, we're gonna try this again and see if I can do a better job. All right, there we go. Now we've got something to work with. All right. Yes, that is correct, Sharon. It's the box that will hold the 3 by 3 envelopes and cards. You got it. All right. Okay, well, gosh, I have fiddled with that long enough, ladies. I'm going to now move that, okay? I really don't like my bow at all. It may get retied later. I'm going to just cut that on the diagonal, okay? Now, here at this point, I can make this super easy, all right? And what I mean by super easy is I have cut out some hearts, okay? And these hearts were cut out from the designer paper. And I'm just gonna pop them up on the box. You could stamp some hearts if you want. Oh, I think it would hold a peppermint patty. Absolutely, Diane. Yes, go with the peppermint patty. What a great idea. All right, and dimensionals. All right, yeah, peppermint patty would be good. And if you could find individually wrapped Oreos, that would also be cute. What I'm trying to do is not cover up the words, okay? And now let's do a little one. A little more of the dimensional. All right, yep, it'll hold her as she kisses, absolutely. Now, to finish this off, you could take your Wink of Stella and color your hearts. Now remember, all of these hearts are just cut out from the designer paper. So the sweetheart dies coordinate with the designer paper. But you can also stamp if you want. I decided to use these because I had a gazillion of them cut out. So, all right. So there you go. There's our treat holder. Let me bring in the other two, and so that you'll have more ideas of which one you might want to use when you make yours. And I will zoom out so that you can see all of them. All right, does anybody have a favorite? I don't know, they're all so cute. They're all really cute, so I don't know. But this will just give you a couple of ideas. Now, it takes very little designer paper, and so you might have some Valentine paper left over from last year, and you could use those scrap pieces that are left, okay? Thank you, Gail. Thanks, Diane. Hi, Becky. Thanks for sharing. So these are the 3D treat holders. I know, I kind of like them all too. I can't say that I have a favorite. So I'll show you real close one more time. This is the one that we created tonight. And that, yes, these would be perfect for grandchildren. I don't have any of those yet, but I cannot wait. And then here's the other one. All right, and it doesn't take very much paper to do that. All right, Well, now we're going to move on, and we've been talking about our paper scraps. And believe me, that is all I have are paper scraps left of this beautiful paper. Thank you. Hi, Rosemary. Thanks for sharing. Hi, Trudy. I'm so glad you like them. I know we need to use our little scraps, don't we? So I'm going to give you the measurements for all of these little scrap pieces, okay? And then we're going to talk about this stamp set right here. So let's go ahead and get our paper pieces out. And I put them in here so that I would not lose them. There's one. Here's one. All right, and I'm missing one. So where are you? Hang tight. I need that one right there. And what did I do with it? And this always happens, by the way. And I cut it. I can promise you I cut it. Maybe, is it stuck? It's not stuck. What did I do with that? If not, I will just cut another piece. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut another piece, and I think I've got enough scrap to do that. So this is the piece that I need to cut. So let me grab that paper. All right, and I know I cut it, so I have absolutely no idea where it is. All right, so this little piece right here, and this will be the first piece that I share with you. This is 1 3/8 of an inch. So that's your first piece of designer paper, your scraps. And then this one here is 2 1/8. All right, so 2 1/8 by 1 3/8. All right, so let me do that. 2 1/8 by, what was it? 3, I think it was 3, hang on. 1 3/8. 1 3/8. All right, and that should take care of that. Okay, we're going to be working on a card base of Blushing Bride. I think when I cleaned up today, I put this away instead of putting it in my tray. All right, so that's our first piece of scrap paper right there. And now let's do this piece, okay? So let me give you the measurements to this one. It's 2 1/4 inches by 2 3/4 inches. Okay? And so that's going to go right there. And then our next piece, 2 1/8 of an inch by 2 3/8 of an inch. That's going to go this way. And then we have 2 smaller squares. And by the way, these 2 squares are different sizes, okay? This one is 1 1/4 inch by 1 3/8 of an inch. That one's going to go right here. And then our last square is 1 3/8 by 1 3/8. So that truly is a square. And that will go right there. And actually, it goes that way. We're going to turn it that way. So this one is going to go sideways, because I cut it differently than this one, okay? But I think it will still be fine. So that's what we want to do first. Let's go ahead and get some seal on here. And we'll get the designer paper attached to the card. You want about a good quarter of an inch all the way around, okay? And let's see, let's do this piece next. And we're going to put this one, again, we'll do about a quarter of an inch. About right there. And now we're going to do this one. It's really easy to put together once you get your scrap pieces cut. This one's going to go this way. I love this piece of paper with the lollipops on it. All right, that should take care of that one. Yeah, it is a good way. All right, I'm going to do this one down here, okay? Actually, it does go this way. This one is cut a little differently. All right. And then our last piece right here. And we're going to put this right here. All right. Actually, you know what? This one right here, okay, is the wrong size and it's driving me crazy. And so we just might do that one again. Okay, so let me see if I have any more of that scrap. All right, let's remeasure again, okay? I will not be happy if I don't have that right. So, let's see what this is. This one is 1 3/8. 1 3/8. So this is one of the last papers that I have a 6 by 12 inch sheet of. All right, so now we're going to measure this way, and it should measure 1 3/8. So that is a square. And hopefully that's going to do the trick. All right, and I think it'll be all right. All right. And we're gonna put that one about right there, which means I have this one crooked. How did that happen? This was supposed to be easy, right? Because it scraps. All right, I wanna make sure, yep, that's the right size. And then this is going to go right here. And that's still crooked. Okay. All right, so there we go. That's the scraps. And now we're going to stamp this cute little bus. This stamp set is a Celebration exclusive. So when you purchase $50 in my online store, this stamp set is free. And with this stamp set, you get this convertible with the balloons, and you get this micro bus, and then you get the bug with the presents on top, okay? And so we're gonna work on this for a few minutes, and I'm gonna show you how to do it. We're going to use this piece of paper right here to actually stamp the bus on. We're going to use black Memento ink. I'm going to ink that up really well, and then we're just going to stamp this. All right. And so there we go. And now, and I also want to show you, I've also taken the time, okay, to stamp one in basic white cardstock. And I stamped this in the black memento ink onto the basic white cardstock, okay? So you're gonna stamp two. You're gonna stamp this one on designer paper, and then you're gonna stamp this one, okay? All right. Hey, Andrea, I got really lucky with the paper, okay? Hey, Mana, how are you? Trying to use up these scraps, and they sometimes are even more difficult. Okay, so what we're going to do with this is we want to cut out this piece and this piece up here. All right, so you get to watch me cut that out. I call this fussy cutting. It's a sewing term, but I know my husband likes to call it sissy cutting. Okay, so you get to watch me cut. I actually don't mind cutting with paper snips. And before we had dies, we did a lot of fussy cutting, didn't we? All right, so this first part right here, I'm going to cut off right along that black line. And then I'm going to trim, and we're going to use this piece, all right? And you know what? I probably will lose this piece, so let's do this. What happened to my little white bus? Hang on. Oh, here he is. Let's go ahead and we're going to glue this on here so that I don't lose this little piece of designer paper. I am just adding some Tombow glue to the top of that. And this is where this is going to go. All right. So that's going to be the first part of your bus, okay? Okay, Rose. Rose, will you message me your mailing information, and I will get a catalog out to you, okay? And I probably even have your address, but if you don't mind messaging me, that would be great. All right, so that's the first part. And now we're going to cut out this lower part. Right along here. And just like this. All right. All right, let's see. Yeah, I want to cut right there above the bumper. I'm going around the wheel. All right. And so now this piece right here is going to get glued here. But before I do that, we're going to do one thing. We're going to take the dark Highland Heather blend, all right? And we are going to color right along here before we glue that part down, okay? So just like this is the dark Highland Heather that I'm using. If you don't have the dark, use the light. And you can use other colors too. Okay. Now something else I want to do. I want to go ahead and color the wheels, okay? I'm going to zoom in closer so that you all can really get a look at that. And I'm going to show you the other one, all right? I think that's too close. Okay. Now we're going to do the light smoky slate. And we're going to color the bumper. And then we're going to color the rim of the tire. This is called Driving By Stamp Set, and it's in your Celebration catalog. All right, and then I'm going to get part of that rim. I don't know what you call it. I'm not a car person. Whatever that is, okay? And then we're going to color this like that, okay? Now I'm going to bring in the light basic black, and we're going to color the muffler, and then we're going to color the tire, both tires. And then we can do the center. All right. And then, oh, you know what else we forgot? Let's do the windows like I did on the first one. This is light pool party. All right. Well, good, Louise. I'm glad. I'm glad. We're just going to get this coloring done before we glue the body on. And you can use any designer paper. It doesn't have to be Sweet Talk. It can be another one. Anything fun. All right, this is a light pool party. I probably could have used the dark on this if I wanted. All right. Now we're ready to glue this on. Okay. And then here comes the body right here. And that'll take just a few seconds to dry. I'll straighten that up for you. You can take a picture of the card if you need to. So you'll stamp 2 of the mini buses, okay? One on basic white and then one on your designer paper. Okay. Well, now we're ready to get our circle out. And I used the layering circles dies for this. So let me give you the diameter of the circle. Oh, you're right, Gail. I might get a ticket if the windshield's too dark. You're right. All right, the diameter of this layering circle in basic white, the diameter is approximately 2 5/8 of an inch, okay? And so then your scallop circle is going to be a bit bigger than that. And we're actually going to, before we tape, we're going to stamp. We're going to stamp in some gorgeous grape right here. All right, I'm going to zoom on out now and move that out of the way. And the words are actually from the stamp set Driving By, all right? And by the way, if you go on Pinterest, you're going to see so many cute cards with this celebration set. Okay, so I'm gonna stamp here. I think I'll stamp about right there. Okay, and that says Driving By just to say hi. While I'm stamping, let's get out the real red. And we're going to get out the Happy Valentine's Day from the Sweet Conversations bundle. It's the bundle we've been using. And this is my little paper strip. I'll measure this for you. Yay, Brenda. I'm so glad you have it. All right, 3 inches long, okay? And this is about 5/8 of an inch. All right, now I'm going to try and get this straight. You know, it's hard for me to look directly over this stamp when I'm teaching class. So you might see my hair. I haven't decided how I'm going to do this yet. Okay. So I think, yep, I got it. Woohoo! All right. Now we'll go ahead and we're going to tape this to the gorgeous grape circle. And we'll center that on there. And then we're going to tape it again. Did you notice that I did not pop this up? Are you surprised? I'm surprised. All right. We're going to put this about right here, okay? Not quite in the middle, but not quite in the middle. Okay, if that doesn't stay down, it's going to get some glue. All right, something I want to show you. I don't want the word hi, okay? So I'm got to cover it up. Now I'm going to look into my little jar here, and I have plenty of these hearts with adhesive on the back. So let's see if I can get one out. Let's use this. See if I can get one of these out. There we go. Okay, put the lid back on, just like that. All right, now we're going to peel off the adhesive. And I'm going to cover up that word hi. Okay, and then I can pop this up. And this is the Happy Valentine's Day. So it actually rhymes. It says, driving by just to say hi, Happy Valentine's Day. How cute is that? Driving by just to say Happy Valentine's Day. So it even rhymes. Super cute. All right. And then we're going to lay this right on across here. I'm going to take a little bit of Tombow glue because guess what? This wants to lift up. All right, that was the piece that we kept peeling up. All right, and here we're going to actually add our little bus, okay, and we're going to pop it up. So we're going to finish this off. We will pop the bus up for sure and finish off this sheet of dimensionals. All right. All right, and there it is. What do you think? This card is going home with someone tonight. Okay. So we'll give that away later. We have one more card that we are going to create tonight. Another Valentine card. I'm so glad you like it, Sonia. Yeah, and you can use all of those scraps, and hopefully I gave you some decent measurements on that. All right, so there it is. Isn't that cute? I am dying to try this with the car and with the little buggy. How cute is that? It is a fun stamp set, absolutely. Oh, something I forgot, okay? Remember this scrap piece of paper? You can actually take one of the Sweetheart dies and you can cut it out, okay? And so we'll pop this up as well. I cut it from the heart die that's in the, as part of the bundle. Part of Sweet Conversations bundle, okay? All right. And we'll put that like that. What do you think? All right, I'm gonna get us all set up for our last card tonight. We're gonna have 3 prizes to give away tonight, all right? I'm so glad y'all like it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, super fun, super cute. And I'll have pictures on my Facebook tomorrow. Okay. All right, now while I'm thinking about it, let me show you this card. This is what we're going to make next. And this is like some of the last of my designer paper. Okay, so we're gonna start with a standard sheet of cardstock. And this is real red, and this is gonna be our card base, okay? Oh, it would be super cute in pink, yep. All right, we're gonna score this at 4 1/4 inches, and this is along the 8 1/2 inch side, okay? So I'm just putting a score line, and then I'm gonna rotate it to the 11 inch side, and I'm gonna cut it at 5 1/2. And as many of you know, when I do that, I get 2 card bases, all right? And I don't always show you that, so I just thought I would tonight. So 2 card bases out of that 1 sheet of cardstock. Now you're gonna love this card. It's super simple to make. So we'll start with this card base here. Let me get my bone folder. Oh, I'm so glad you like it, Anita. I like this last card. There we go. I'll try and bring it back in for you to see. All right, try and tidy up a bit. All right, so you ready for some measurements? We're gonna start with some Blushing Bride. And this measures 4 1/8 of an inch, okay? And also 5 3/8 of an inch. All right, right there. Now the designer paper is measuring 4 inches, so it's just 1/8 of an inch smaller by 5 1/4 inches, okay? So what we're gonna do is we are going to take our adhesive let me get a little more, there we go. And we're going to center this, okay? Right on the Blushing Bride. And you're gonna have 1/8 of an inch all the way around, okay? So this is what it's gonna look like, okay? Once you do that, all right. Oh, Brenda, I'm so glad you liked it, awesome. Yeah, I mean, you can make, you know, with all your scraps of paper, you can make all different kinds of cards. Absolutely. We're going to center this right on top of this card base here. All right. And now that part is done. All right, so super easy. Now we're going to do the same thing with these 3 pieces, okay? So I'll start with the smallest. How about that? The smallest is measuring 2 7/8 by 4 3/8. Okay, I keep moving my ruler. I'm sorry, 4 3/8. Then your Blushing Bride is going to measure 3 inches by 4 1/2 inches. And then your Real Red is going to measure 3 1/8 of an inch. So you can see we've gone up 1/8 of an inch each time that I've measured these papers. And this one is 4 5/8. All right, so they just get seal, and you just layer these 3 together. All right, and again, you're going to have about 1/8 of an inch all the way around. I always have to advance my seal with my thumb to get it going going again, or at least with this roll. All right, I'm going to center this again, 1/8 of an inch all the way around, okay? Now I'm going to get out this ribbon, because you know I love ribbon. And we're going to tie a bow, and I'm going to try and do a better job than what I did with the box. All right. All right. I did a much better job. I guess it was just hard with the box because the box wanted to move too much. Thanks, Tina. I'm so glad you like the projects tonight. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. Now this, we're going to slide the bow over just a little. I'm going to slide it down a bit, and we're going to add some dimensionals on the back. And again, we're getting rid of, is Mary Kay still watching? She calls these the bones. We're getting rid of the bones of the dimensionals. And one more. And then we're going to peel this off. Anybody have any questions regarding tonight's projects? Okay, now we can make this layer straight, and we can position it on the diagonal, all right? So there's actually 2 different ways to do this one. I am using dimensionals, yes. They were the outer pieces of the dimensional, so I'm just using that. I'm going to go ahead and do this on the diagonal just because it just makes it look fun. I feel like I need to tighten my ribbon a little bit. All right. And then I pulled out special moments, all right? So with this stamp set, it's a celebration item. And I believe you all, I don't have my book in front of me, but is this the one? This, I believe, is free when you make a $100 purchase, all right? And this has 21 sentiments in it. And we're going to use Where Would I Be Without a Friend Like You? Now, I pulled out my hippo dies, all right? I love the dies in this set. It does have a coordinating stamp set, okay? Thanks, Pam. Thanks, Diane. For a second, I couldn't remember. All right, we're going to use this die right here. All right, let me show you. See how that fits? So that's the die we're using from Hippo and Friends. And we're going to need some real red ink. So I'll pull that out. And then we're just going to stamp this. All right. And that's just a simple cut with your machine. Nothing fancy about that. We are going to pop it up. So, I know the hippo framelits are so amazing. I love them. I love them. Love the shapes in it. Hopefully I haven't smeared the red. No, I haven't. And then this gets positioned right here. All right. And so there it is. How fun is that? Yesterday during my my Be Creative Tip Tuesday, I showed everyone this card as well. So I just wanted you to see it. I used the embossing folder, the gingham embossing folder. It's part of the Sweet Talk suite. And then these are, some are stamped and some are from the designer paper. I was demonstrating how to create that banner. So if you don't know how to create that, go back and watch yesterday's tip video. All right. So, but this has been a super fun suite to work with, getting us all ready for Valentine's. Let me get the box, and we're going to have a drawing. All right. So here we go. I'm going to let you look at those. I'm going to get us set up, and we're going to give away all 3 tonight, okay? So if you haven't commented, you need to, so that you can win one of these cards, okay? Hi, Diane. Welcome, Diane Rivers. Good to have you. All right, so make sure you comment. And this will take me just a second to load the comments and see who our winner is. I'm so glad that you like the projects. Thank you. All right. All right, we're just about ready. Oh, thank you, Joanne. Thanks, Melissa. Margaret, I got my paper pumpkin yesterday, so now we have even more Valentines that we can make, right? Okay, so let's see. We're gonna scoot on over here, and I am going to hit start, which is right here, okay? And the names are flying there, and we're gonna see who wins what. Becky White. Becky, you are lucky. You won a couple of weeks ago. Yay. All right, Becky, this is coming your way. You're going to get the box tonight. All right. There we go. So Becky won the box this evening. And now we're going to give away our little driving by card, okay? Thank you so much, Arlene. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, that would be so cute. Yes, Louise, I love your idea. Love it. All right, second winner. Here goes. All right. Mana Reed. Mana, I'm going to be putting this in the mail to you. Congratulations. Yay, Mana. That is awesome. You're going to get some happy mail. All right, this is our final project that we're going to give away this evening. Here it is right here. And then I'm going to give you a sneak peek of something brand new that comes out next week, okay? And if you're a demonstrator, you already know about it, but if you're one of my customers, you don't know about it, okay? So hang tight. All right, here we go. Last winner of the night. Let's see who it's gonna be. Sonia, yay! Sonia, you have not won in a while, so this is awesome. Congratulations. Sonia lives in Canada, so this card right here has a ways to travel, all right? Okay, so something brand new that's coming next week. Now, if you're a demonstrator, you've had the entire month of January to pre-order this, all right? So if you don't know about that, go to the demonstrator website. For everybody else, Stampin' Up! Is going to introduce, all right, some Natural Tones Stampin' Blends on Tuesday, February 1, all right? These are natural tones. They're for coloring the skin on a person. I don't know how else to call it or how else to say it, but it's going to be a great help to us now that we have skin tone colors, all right? And it's something we've been asking for a while. So, and they come two to a set, and they go darkest to the lightest. That's the lightest one. So you're going to get to see these next Wednesday night in action, all right? But they're available for order on Tuesday, February 1. All right, and all of them, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, all 10 of them, you can buy 2 at a time for $9, or you can get all 10 for $45. It's not a savings, it's not a discount if you buy all 10, okay? But if you want all 10, it's $45, all right? And they are awesome, and I can't wait to show these to you. And I am hoping to also show you the Ladybug set next week, the Ladybug bundle. And of course, there'll be celebrations. So it's just all kinds of stuff to show you. So don't forget about my celebration pick this week. It's the Driving By stamp set, all right? Oh, and I just thought of something else. Would anybody like a sneak peek of my next sampler? All of the details will roll out next week, but I can give you a sneak peek of the sampler. Would anybody like to see it? No takers? No one wants to see a sneak peek? It's using the flowering tulips. Ooh, that's really hard to say. Flowering tulips. All right. So let me know. Oh yeah, Louise wants to see. Diane wants to see. Good, that's what I wanted to hear. Okay, here's your sneak peek. That is part of the sampler. It's a tulip sampler. What do you think? This class will be coming up in March, but all the details are going to roll out next week, and it has coordinating cards to go with it, all right? So you don't want to miss this class that's coming up, and you can take it as an online customer, okay? Thank you, Pam. I'm so glad you like it. It is a 10 by, or is it 9 by 9? It's a 9 by 9 sampler. So it's not the usual that I do. I usually do 12 by 12s, but this one's 9 by 9, so it's a little bit smaller. So can't wait to show you the cards. They will debut as well next week when the class rolls out. So it's a sampler, and then there's cards, and then you can combine the two. You can do both if you want, okay? I know, I'm so excited. So I would have shown you the actual sampler tonight, but it's not glued down. So I've got to get all my pieces glued down before I can show it to you. All right, everyone, have a great week. I'll be back next Tuesday at 2 for my Tuesday tip. And then I'll be here on Wednesday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, all right? And we'll have lots of new stuff to look at, okay? Thanks so much for joining me. I really appreciate you being here week after week. If you're new watching tonight and you need a demonstrator and you need a catalog, please message me and I'll make sure you get one, all right? Take care and have a great week. Bye.